Well, hello there, YouTube. So today is March 1st, a nice Sunday. Not too terribly warm. It's about 50, 54. Well, it's showing 55 on the gauge, so maybe it's kicking up. It doesn't feel like it. I'm wearing the climb gloves that breathe just a little too much for this weather. I mean, my hands aren't freezing, but it definitely feeling the cold. I may have to swap out here for too long. But so yesterday I lived on the DR650 for several hours. Geez, I probably did close to 2 hours worth of recording. It looks like I might have about maybe 4 solid vlogs out of it, maybe. Just sifting through, looking at what I've got. So I'm switching from the bike I have with the least comfortable seat to the one with unquestionably the most comfortable seat. Not that I can see very good on this side because, ooh, look how low the water is. You can see all the rocks down there now. See how it's now snaking through the rocks, if you can make that out through the trees, but the falling tree. But last time we looked at it, it was coming straight through, wasn't it? I'm just going to take a loop on the west side of I-5 out towards Chehalis, going through Boitsford, I think is what it's called. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. There's a Gospodor monument there. I don't know how well that's coming from that far away. Probably just looks like specks. But just as they predicted, the weather's a little hazier today than it was yesterday. No chance of rain, which is always good. But actually, I think the temperature is supposed to be like a degree or two warmer today. I think they were saying a high of 56. Yeah, see, now it's dropped down to 54. That's what it was at the house when I left. I had this thing idling out there in the driveway for a little bit. It was probably picking up heat resonating up. But I thought I'd take this back roadway down Telegraph Road that I love taking. There's the creek again. But yeah, I found some potential new trails to go cruising around on the DR yesterday. I would imagine I'll probably use some of that footage too. I was actually done and heading home, and I decided, man, I'm just not quite done. So I ended up going for another half-hour ride there at the end of the day. Telegraph. So I wonder what the story is behind this road being named Telegraph Road. There's a weird like halo going around the sun. I don't know if the camera, if I pointed up that high, you wouldn't see it anyway. It would just blind it out. But it's kind of a weird ring going around the sun that's in the clouds. It's really cool looking. I still haven't, who is it, Otis Engineering always gives me a hard time about not purchasing the polarizer filter for my GoPros yet. Actually got them sitting in I think a couple of carts. So do you guys ever save things in your cart and then you go to order something and you hit that, you know, like Amazon is the worst. You go ahead and just click the button, it says one click purchase, and you're looking at the bill afterwards and going, God, did they jack the price on that thing? You go back and look, well, something sitting in your cart that you you accidentally ordered. Something you were just looking at. But they do have a way of, it's kind of a wish list kind of a thing, a save for later type of deal. It kicks it out of your cart. I don't think they had that before, but I've been using that now. But the polarizer filter I'm looking at is from Polar, I think it's called Polar Lens Pro, this company. Because but the reason I haven't decided, because I'm thinking about buying the skeleton case for the 3 Plus and 4. You know, it's the smaller form factor case like this. This is the 4. But my 4 case is actually still in the box from the 4. That's actually my one of my 3 Plus black cases. Yeah, I gave myself a little scare there yesterday too. I thought I still had 2 of the 3 Plus blacks. One set up as a camera, and then this one that I use all the time. And I forgot that that one of them got damaged. It was gifted to me by the store, and unfortunately the deal was anybody that needs it can borrow it. Well, one of our team racers, motocross guys, borrowed it. Don't know how, but the infamous mini USB port getting ripped from the circuit board inside the GoPro happened to it. But yeah, I went searching for a camera that I didn't even have. I turned it in to try to get it warranted, and I don't know what happened. In fact, I have no idea what happened to the camera. It probably just got thrown away. The camera still worked, but you had no way of any transfers, updates, or anything. You had to do it physically from the card, because obviously it wouldn't hook up to your computer anymore. And you couldn't charge it through the camera either. You had to pull the battery out and use. Oh man, if I could have just been a few seconds later, this old gal's probably just gonna crawl up this hill. But I'm in no hurry anyway. But yeah, the camera still worked. You just had to do everything externally. Like I say, I got the little brick that comes with the Wasabi batteries, the little charger thing. Just plug it into that and charge it. But you would not be able to do any kind of motovlogging with it. But I could have used it as just a camera like I was using it. Oh well, things happen. So one of my videos talking about feeling guilty, it has just been unbelievable up here. Isn't there some weird thing that like it's a no-no to talk about weather in a motovlog? Who the hell came up with that rule? Just about everybody talks about weather at some point. So if that's wrong, then I guess I'm really wrong, because usually in every one of my vlogs at some point or another I talk about weather. Weather is like so in your face when you live in the Northwest, just because of the limited amount of time that we get to ride each year. It's ever so weather relevant, it seems. But I have no, knock on wood, I have no complaints. That gal see me knocking on my helmet. She's looking in her mirror going like, wow, this guy's got some mental issues. He's one of them people that hurts himself when he's angry. But man, I have no idea how we're getting this incredible weather. Things are blooming like crazy. It's just nuts. But we're getting close enough to the season that would be starting now. It's really not news anymore. It's just the fact that we've had such an incredibly mild winter, and at this point when you consider, you know, we had a little bit of an Indian summer, we've only had 3 months of winter so far. Now, if you want to call, you know, 50-degree weather still winter, then, you know, it depends on what you're used to as to what you consider really cold, but 50 degrees is fine with me. I hate that I can't wear the clothing I normally like to wear. That's the only thing that irritates me. It's just, yeah, the humidity's so high around here that you know, 50 degrees, it soaks in and feels, oh my God, that scared the shit out of me. Damn train sitting there. The first thought that flashes through your head is that son of a gun is moving. Hey, I just crossed over a little river there and didn't stop. Please don't tell me this lady's going all the way out here. This could be ugly. She's gonna turn. Come on now. There you are. There you go. Yeah, that store has been closed so many times when I come by. I thought maybe we had another one of our little country stores fall prey to the economy. Man, we lost a bunch of those. A bunch of these stores that's been around surely long before I was never an itch in my parents' pants, so to speak. And man, within a couple years they're all gone. And that one, when I've come by, has been closed here lately. So, but I've seen stuff on the inside, so I was hopeful. But I guess being hopeful was a good thing, because it has an open sign on it and people there. Look at this old house here. I bet you that puppy is old. It was for sale for quite a while. But while it was for sale, you know, Kelly and I were feeling the financial downturn ourselves, so buying a house was not something you even looked at or would consider. Nice little creek coming through there for you. Just a beautiful, just a smooth, well, I say smooth, it's mostly smooth. There's some of the bridge crossings that'll cause a seat bounce if you're not careful, and it's unassuming. You come up on them and they look nice and smooth, and boom, that old 1200 low I had, good Lord, I had my ass out of the seat of that thing more than any other motorcycle I've ever owned. Started with the worst stock shocks ever, and then well, I've told this story before. I ended up buying the heavy duty progressive shocks, and that was a bad move. Everything set as soft as it could go. Them things were like struts back there. Never did break in. There was never an improvement in them. And those everybody kept telling me, don't quit buying the high-end ones, buy the cheap ones, the 412s. So I bought the 412s for the iron, and, you know, regular, you know, non-heavy duty, and it kind of scared me for the first few hundred miles until they started breaking in. And now, man, I just never, the suspension is not even a thought in my head when I'm riding the iron now. The only time it was in my head after I put those, you know, when they broke in, at about 800 miles, I never thought about the suspension again. But I clicked them one click up when Kelly and I were riding two up on the iron, which we need to do again because she actually enjoyed that. And the shocking thing was that little old iron didn't even know she was back there. It was crazy. And I kept putting off, you know, putting the passenger seat on that thing for the longest time, because I figured, you know, that little old iron, that thing's just going to go full on gutless when I add another 100 pounds to the back there. Man, didn't even know she was there. I didn't even notice it with the brakes. I thought, God dang, tough little old gal. Look at that. I'd say somebody ran into the fence, but it all blew out. That thing must have been weak and fell prey to the windstorms. Wow, now that's a big change. This guy used to have a camel out here. I guess the fence is still good there for the most part. Wow. That used to be, or maybe I'm not on it yet, but there used to be a place that was like all manicured and real nice, and the guy had a sign up saying after 78 or 75 something, I think it was 78 years, they're closing it down. They had some kind of a park or a museum going on in there. Hey, they don't have their fake people sitting under the swing right there. These people, they have a swing set up with a, you know, a tarp over the top, and they have mannequins sitting there, and you can't help but to wave at them when you go by. You learn not to, but initially, I think they got one of them with their hand in the air like they're waving at you. It's funny how many people I see out walking around today. That's good. That's the other thing about the wintertime. Other than, you know, seeing cars driving around, you'd never see anybody doing anything. Well, you wouldn't do anything because it's just wet and miserable and cold and just nasty. Nasty. Now I'm gonna go up the side of this mountain here, and it's liable to get pretty damn cold up here. You get in the, oh man, you get woo, just as I was about to say, you get into these shades and it is cold. Some of these areas never see the light of day. You know, in the summer when it's straight overhead, they'll get some sun, but like in the wintertime, never sees the shade. And you can get out here, it can be, you know, the low 40s, and you can still find black ice back here. It retains the cold that well. Pretty crazy. But it feels good. I really, with the temperatures it is, I should have left the shield on this thing, but I really enjoy riding it without the shield. It's very comfortable. The air coming off of the bike hitting me is just so clean. The bike itself puts off enough, you know, resistance, I don't know the size of it or whatever, that it kind of has its own, you know, shield effect. Now driving down the freeway, you know, I get a pretty good tug on my head, but it's not bad. But for you know, 60 and under riding, this thing's more than comfortable. Sometimes this helmet, if I don't have the shield popped all the way down, it'll get a whistle that sounds like a shrieking sound, like metal shrieking together. You're like, is that coming from the bike? Freaks you out a little bit. Oh man, it's beautiful out here. Usually when I take this route, even in the middle of summer, about the only thing you pass is another guy on a motorcycle. Just out cruising around. So we reached the peak of the hill here. Is there anything to see out here? See a lot of people come down here and turn around. Yeah, just a valley. They come through and log. When I first started coming through here, of course, this was all still like old growth forest, and you couldn't see out over any of this thing. It was like a tunnel, like the hill we were just coming up. It was tunneled like that the whole way up. But because people have come out here on dirt bikes and quads and 4x4s and whatever else and hurt themselves, now all the landowners lock locked the roads up. Make sure I got no bugs on there. They locked the damn roads up so you don't have access to it anymore. But anyway, this is my first little step here. That was kind of a warm-up vlog, if we can call it that. Look at that, where people have dumped their garbage out. What a crying shame. So anyway, on the top of the hill here, it's all down from here. I'm gonna let you go on the old Road King again. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye now.